Hey guys, welcome to Brickstars. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the biggest sets from 2010 to 2019. And what a decade it was. Arguably one of the greatest decades in LEGO's history, I would say. A lot of variety, a lot of different themes, different sets, amazing lineup throughout. It was a lot of fun making this video, kind of going back through memory lane and seeing all the different sets. And we've done this before, obviously. If you've been following our channel, you know we've done the 90s, 80s, and the 2000s. So if you do like this type of content, please hit that subscribe button. This is probably my favorite decade we've done to date in terms of overall year-over-year sets. As much as I love 90s sets, I think they really did a great job this decade. And so, as with the previous videos, we're really focusing on that system style of sets. So your classic kind of, not Technic, not anything too crazy. It has to have minifigures. We don't want any special promotional sets or kind of one-off things. And anything that combines a bunch of sets into one set is not really what we're looking for here. It's to really give a fair idea of what was the biggest set in any particular year. And you'll see we included some, I would call them more model-like sets throughout, but maybe those should have been excluded as well. In any case, we do show honorable mentions, so I think we've captured a pretty good amount of sets. Starting it off in 2010, the Imperial Shuttle 10212, very cool looking set, 2,500 parts, 5 minifigures, and about $260 US when it came out almost 15 years ago. What surprises me is how sharp this set still looks. Very clean, very nice angles, and the building techniques are pretty cool with using these Technic parts and these gears to make the wings movable. And what I also love is how it does look as a display model. So lots of parts. It almost looks a little simplistic, but you can see there's definitely a lot of different building techniques here, using some interesting angles, upside down, backwards type building techniques. And you do get some room to put a couple of the minifigures that are featured in the set as well. And you can see those 5 minifigures here, a couple of them unique to this set, and of course Darth Vader is there. It's tough to have a Star Wars set without Darth Vader, so no surprise that Star Wars kicks off the decade. But the modular series also ramps it up, and here you see the Grand Emporium, beautiful looking set, a corner modular building. I love the colors of this one, and again, this was back when they used just the simple smiley face on these minifigures instead of the more elaborate faces we see today. And then another honorable mention is the Imperial Flagship. Kind of funny that two of the largest sets had the word Imperial in them this year, but this is an amazing set, and honestly probably the set I most regret not getting when it came out. I had a chance to get it. Obviously it's gone up a crazy amount in price. I love the colors of this one. I love the detail, the minifigures, cloth sails. I can't say enough about it. A really beautiful looking set, and a lot of interior details as well. So you see the captain's quarters here. They have some cannons and a little bit of a kitchen. Obviously if we were to see this set today, it would probably be even more detailed, but for 2010 I think this was a great set and a great piece, both as a play set and a display set. And that's one thing you'll notice throughout this decade. A lot of sets kind of fit that vibe. So this next set had just under 3,200 parts, 5 minifigures, and $400 US. If you guessed the Superstar Destroyer, you would be right. This is a huge set, so you can see almost 50 inches there. And we're not the biggest Star Wars fans, as we've noted before, but definitely can appreciate the size of these sets and the detail that goes in them. And this is what I was alluding to earlier, where a lot of sets throughout this decade were this kind of model variety that included a couple minifigures almost as decorative displays, but you could often put them inside the set as well. So we thought it would be fair to include these type of sets at the start. Near the end of the video, you'll see I kind of changed my mind, but nonetheless, really detailed build. And having never built a set like this myself, I can only imagine what it's like, and I do think it would probably be tedious at times, but the amount of detail you get when it's done is crazy. When you look at the level of plates here, the different techniques to kind of switch the direction of the stud and everything. So really cool building techniques and look to this set. And it had a bit of an interior as well, so you could put some of these minifigures in. Obviously, Star Wars fans, you get some cool minifigures in this one. Again, some are unique to this set. Our favorite is this guy, Bosk. I love the yellow and the sand green colors here. I think they work really well. And honorable mentions, again, a modular, the Pet Shop, one that I wish we got as well. And this version of Diagon Alley from Harry Potter. I actually really like this version because it's more of a play set than a display set, which I kind of like when Lego does that, really focusing on what it ultimately is, and if it works as a display set, great. And I think this one does both. So 3 really interesting looking buildings, a lot of minifigures, different colors. And another set that was a pretty big set for that year was this Maersk train. I love the colors of this one. If you're a train fan, I think this is one of those really special ones to have in your collection, and I think the price nowadays speaks for that. So just another look at the sets. Honorable mention, so they weren't the biggest, but definitely not small sets by any standard. 2012, here we go, a modular. After a decade of Star Wars, the first couple 2 years of this decade, Star Wars sets, finally 2,800 pieces almost, 8 minifigures, and $200 US. Maybe I've adjusted myself to the prices nowadays, but that seems like a steal of a deal to me. Even looking at the parts, the piece parts per dollar type math, it seems like a pretty good ratio there. But really good looking modular, not one that we have in our collection, unfortunately. These modulars from this era were a lot simpler, but I do remember when this one came out, and it was a fan favorite because it did have a lot of details on the outside. I think it's a little bit simple on the inside, and there are those simple original Lego minifigure faces. You see they had a wedding going on, and the interior had some detail, but nothing too crazy. And it's kind of a shame, but nonetheless, beautiful set. What I really love is the colors of this one, and you can see how it goes with the rest of these. Huge set, town hall, very tall. I love this detail, and it stays true to kind of the theme of modulars, which is nice, and they've honestly carried that throughout even till today. Honorable mentions, what a year. 2012, Helm's Deep, the Monster Fighters, Haunted House, and the Kingdom's Joust. 3 great sets, 3 of our favorite sets. Fortunately, we do have 2 of these in our collection, and I just love the builds. Again, the different colors, the different molds, the specialty parts that we got introduced in this decade, and specifically in this year, is really awesome. So definitely a painful year for the wallet, but a great year for sets. 2013, here we go, Lord of the Rings. It's surprising that there isn't more Lord of the Rings sets in this decade, but one this year. With the Tower of Orthanc, they've got this great large Lord of the Rings set, just under 2,400 parts, 5 minifigures, $200. Again, feels like good value. I probably would have liked to see a couple more minifigures in this one. And when looking at sets made from black pieces, it's always tough to appreciate all the details, and I think Barad-dûr is another one of those sets that pictures don't do it justice. But really detailed build, really detailed interior. You can remake a lot of the scenes from the movie, and awesome looking minifigures as well. So I think they did a great job. Like I said, a couple extra minifigures wouldn't have hurt at all, but I did love that they gave us these side builds and kind of side play accessories with the tree and the eagle there. Really great looking additions to the set. And speaking of the minifigures, very detailed ones. I especially love Wormtongue. I think this is a great torso. I wish I had this in my collection. I think it can work in a couple different castle type mocks or scenes. Honorable mentions: the Batman Arkham Asylum, the Palace Cinema, another modular, and then the Ewok Village. Again, not being Star Wars fans, I missed out on this one. I wish I did get it for a couple reasons. I think the parts are great. I think the set itself is amazing, but I think I could do a great job converting it to a Forstman style set. Although the Ewoks are probably some of my favorite minifigures that Lego's ever released, and I think the fact that they made each of them different, the different colors, details, I really wish I had these guys in my collection. Something about them, they look great. Yeah, if you have these, I think you're really lucky. Do not get rid of them. 2014, another Star Wars set, the Sandcrawler. You can see this one had just under 3,300 parts, 14 minifigures, $300. Again, seems pretty reasonable. A lot of these minifigures, I've touched on this in the past. Is it fair to consider them minifigures? I don't know, but nonetheless, what's interesting is in 2005, the old Sandcrawler was the biggest set that year. So almost a decade later, the updated version takes the throne, and you can see it has a lot of details, a lot of mechanisms to open up the walls, open up some of those play features. I think this set came out during the era of brittle brown, so I'd almost be worried with the amount of brown bricks here, especially if you're looking to buy this set used. That'd be a big risk for me. And if you do have it, probably a beautiful display piece. I wouldn't risk taking it apart. Obviously, they fixed that problem since then, but looking at the minifigures, you can see nothing too crazy. A lot of these I wouldn't really consider minifigures, but with Luke Skywalker and Owen Lars, you get, some interesting minifigures, and C-3PO I think looks pretty cool here as well. Honorable mentions: the Simpsons house, a little simple looking, but matches the show. Huge set. And from the Lego movie, Metalbeard's Sea Cow. This was always an interesting set to me. As a boat, it was a little too tall for my liking, but obviously they're staying true to the movie. A lot of cool parts, interesting play set. Didn't get it. Do I regret not getting it? Not really, but cool set nonetheless. And here we go, the Shield Helicarrier from the Superheroes lineup. This is another one that's kind of a model. You can see they include a lot of those little mini figures, I call them. And that's why we've listed it as 17, which is kind of what this set's advertised as online. Just under 3,000 parts and $350. In my opinion, I would say it's more truly like 5 minifigures. I do like that they give you this badge build to go along with the minifigure stand. And it does look like it would be a fun build. I'm personally not a huge fan of these type of sets. I do prefer, even if they're a smaller scale, but a smaller size, but minifigure scale. I've always found these little minifigures to be kind of weird looking, but they did a great job with adding a lot of details on this set. And you can see the competition that year was pretty tough between Modulars, Ninjago, another system set, and the Creator lineup. Some huge sets. I really love this Ninjago set. I think the village buildings here and the tower just look awesome. And another one I really wish I did get was the Simpsons lineup, both the house and the Quickie Mart. I think as a Simpsons fan, I kind of dropped the ball there. 2016 Ghostbusters. If you're a Ghostbusters fan, I think this was probably a must-buy set. It's just over 4,600 pieces, 10 minifigures, $350. Again, for the piece count, that seems like such a bargain, and I think this set goes for close to $1,000 sealed nowadays. Beautiful looking, detailed. I love these type of sets that open up. It shows that they didn't cheap out. They've given us kind of the fully enclosed model and the hinge pieces that allow you to close it, but also explore some details and some nice play features. This set always reminded me of the modular fire station. Obviously, the base, the dark red, it makes sense. They are both firehouses, so not surprised there, but always found it interesting how similar they were. So I think as a modular, if you weren't a Ghostbusters fan, you could also modify this one a little bit and add it into your Lego display. Just looking at the interior, you can see they've got a lot of scenes from the movie, a lot of detailed, intricate builds. I always love this pool table, how they did it. When Lego does things like this, using existing parts, simplicity, I think it works so well. No need to make a new mold for the pool sticks or the billiard table or anything. Use the parts. It looks great. The guys hanging out in the kitchen, the milk, the pizza, everything was top notch. Really detailed prints on the minifigure. You can see the Ghostbusters logo there. I think they did a great job, and it speaks to the value of the set. A lot of minifigures included as well. I think all of them are unique, so that drives up the price as well. But definitely a very cool set. And it had some pretty big competition. Again, Disney Castle, the Death Star, both over 4,000 parts, huge sets, beautiful sets, I think, as well. And they were on the shelf for a long time. So I think if you didn't get these, we had our chance. I didn't get them, but that's okay. You can't have them all. 2017, the Millennium Falcon, 7,500 parts. At the time, I think it was the biggest set released. I would say it probably still considered, well, definitely one of the biggest, but you know, you could look at the world map and say, oh, it has almost 10,000 parts, or the Colosseum, but as a set, I think this one is still among the biggest. 8 minifigures, 850 USD. Beautiful looking set. Like I said earlier, I've never really built sets like this, but looking at the angles, the details, the different plates, oh man, I could imagine this would be, you know, several weekend project for sure. But great looking set. If you're a Star Wars fan, to have this, I can only imagine the joy to have a set like this in your collection as a display piece. And you do get a couple minifigures as well. There's some room for them inside, a lot of details in there as well, and a lot of gray color, but they did a nice job mixing it up and using different shades of the gray, different pieces. Very, very detailed. I've seen this one in store, and it's honestly very impressive seeing it in person. So what is interesting is there's been a lot of Millennium Falcons released over the years, and I do like the smaller scale sometimes. I think it's, one, more budget friendly, two, it kind of works nice as a playset. So they've given us a lot of options with the Millennium Falcon. If this one isn't for you, there's been, you know, different sizes that you could get over the years. And what a year this was. Look at how many large Lego sets we got that year. From Ninjago City, Assembly Square, the Joker Manor, the Minecraft Mountain Cave, Ninjago Destiny's Bounty. Different styles, different builds, different themes, but all all huge sets, especially comparing this to previous decades where it'd be very rare to get a set over 1,000 or 2,000 parts. You can see Lego's pushed the envelope. These sets are nearing 4,000 pieces, and it's pretty cool to see, obviously driving up the price, but definitely a lot of large sets in recent years. 2018, another one that follows that model style, the Harry Potter Hogwarts Castle, 6,020 parts, 28 minifigures. I should have put an asterisk there. A lot of them are those small minifigures, 4 true minifigures, and $470. I actually really like that they did this because they've released a lot of Harry Potter sets over the years, but I think it's nice to give more adult fans an option. You know, maybe you don't want a large space to take up, you know, by combining a bunch of the more modular style Harry Potter sets. This gives you the castle in one go, very detailed. You can see on the back here, you get all the different areas of the castle, and it looks pretty good. I would say it's probably my favorite model that they've done because they've kind of stayed true to their sets, true to the movie, and they've managed to really capture everything, even with the dragon there on the roof. And you see the interior, there's some sticker pieces, some printed elements, but they allow you to kind of recreate those scenes with the miniature minifigures. And the minifigures that you do get, I think they're top notch, very detailed. They're very expensive to get on their own because I think they're all exclusive. I really wish I had this torso. I think this would work great again in a lot of castle applications. Even this one is pretty cool, but yeah, great minifigures in this one. And another Ninjago set that almost got the top spot, another Star Wars set, and this roller coaster set. Again, look at these sets, all around that 4,000 piece mark, and different themes again. So we really were blessed with huge sets in this decade. And to finish off the decade, you know, I talked about it earlier. These sets, although huge, although great looking, I kind of started to change my mind as I got to the end of the video, and I didn't think including these as the largest was really fair, especially the Imperial Star Destroyer. I think it only had 2 minifigures. The Batman one had, I think, 3, so maybe I should have included that one and listed it as the top one. But I figured the Lego Movie Welcome to Apocalypseburg deserved the top spot. It's a huge set. It's got a ton of great building techniques and a lot of unique and cool looking minifigures. Just under 3,200 parts, 13 minifigures, $300. Look at all the details in this set. What a fun set it would have been to build as a kid, but even as a teenager or a fan of the Lego Movie, I think this one's awesome. You look at Batman here with this armor, like what a detailed mold they included. No expenses spared, obviously very Mad Max-like, with the rust and the sand and you know, kind of the scattered look to it. You can see the different colors here, and I love sand green, so anytime Lego uses sand green, I think you can't really go wrong. So this one is another set maybe I wish I got, but it was a little bit pricey even then. So you see the amount of minifigures you get, and some of these came very close. The Treehouse, Jurassic Park, the Disney Train. I really love this Treehouse set. I was able to get it on sale a couple years ago. I think they did a great job designing this set with a lot of brown elements. And the Jurassic Park set, I like the molded dinosaurs more. That's why this one was always tough for me. I think they maybe could have done something else instead of a brick-built T-Rex, but it does look pretty good, and this is a very good looking set. So the train here is beautiful. I think it could work really well as a Western train as well. I've seen people convert the train station into more of a modular building, but really cool building techniques here. nothing bad to say about that one. So let's do a quick recap looking at the top sets from this decade. Unlike the previous decade, which was almost all Star Wars, this one did have a lot of Star Wars, but it had a lot of everything else between licensed themes, the modular series, the Lego movie. So I think they did a great job throughout this decade. I picked the handful of the biggest sets each year, but honestly, there was a lot of sets that were over 2,000 parts in any one year. So that's why I say this is perhaps the golden decade of Lego. We'll see when we go to do the next decade video how it shapes out, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments which set is your favorite, or if there's any large sets that we missed, and we'll see you next time.